Hey guys, it's Pure and Ice Cream Bar. Before I begin, I just want to say if my voice starts sounding really strange or if I somehow end up with a cup of tea, I am coming down with a cold and I feel really tired and sickly, so I apologize. And now let's move on with the show. So today I'm talking about BJD Addicts prompt number something? Why is it that I can never remember? It's like I look at them and then I come to film and I'm like, I don't know. But it is, how do you afford your dolls? And actually, I've been meaning to make a little mini series of videos about how I afford my ball joint dolls since in November of 2015, and now it's March. So, didn't really get on the ball with that one. But then I realized that it was actually a prompt, so I thought, okay, well I'll just make a video for that, and there's gonna be a part 2 to this where I talk about some other stuff, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So how have I afforded my ball joint dolls over the years? I will let you know. And this is a question that, you know, you seem to get a lot in this hobby, like, how do you afford that? It's so expensive. Well, first of all, yes, they are expensive for what they might seem to be on a surface level. However, if you have ever bought furniture, you will know that $500 is actually not that much money. The long and short of it, though, is you just need to have the money. There's no other way you can get the dolls. You just have to have the money. You have to earn it and save it and then trade it. A fun exchange, like, hey, I want that thing, do you want this this pile of money? And they're like, yeah, I do want that pile of money, here's this thing you wanted, and but how? How is this done? How do you get to that point with this big pile of money that you throw around, make it rain? Well, when I first got into this hobby, I was going into my freshman year of high school, so I was pretty young, and my parents looked at what I wanted and they were like, why on earth do you want this? This is a stupid purchase. They just thought it was a really stupid thing to buy. They were like, oh, well, you're gonna have this for 3 weeks and then you're gonna get bored with it. Just haha parents, 10 years, knocked it out of the park. 3 weeks, my butt. Okay, stop snapping. The point is, I pretty much had to make up the money all by myself because they were like, there's no way we're buying this thing for you, this random thing. So what I did, you know, I was a little young to have a job yet, and I really had no other source of income. So I went ahead and I started selling some old collectibles. I used to collect manga and different things. I've had a collector's personality my whole life, so accumulated many a random thing throughout the years. And I started selling that on eBay. Bunch of manga, how to draw books. I just sold a crap ton of stuff. You know, every time my parents would, you know, be going out and would give you money for pizza or something like that, I would just try and save as much of that money as possible. You know, birthday money, stuff like that, Christmas, whatever, holiday money. And eventually it got to a point where my parents were like, oh, you've saved $400 and you're a child who is bad at everything. So that's pretty impressive for you. So they went ahead and they helped me out in the end, and that's how I got my first doll. Not the most exciting story ever, and not maybe that exciting if you're hoping that there's some magical way that you can afford a doll somehow. There's not a magical way. If there is, please, somebody let me know. I would love to know the magical way to afford a doll. I would be so happy. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so happy. That's how I would be like. Pretty much every doll I had when I was in high school, I paid for by making and saving money. I eventually got a job, a part-time job at my library, and was able to earn money, and it took a really long time. I could, you know, save up for a year and afford a ball joint doll at the end of the year, and I was not buying, you know, $800 dolls. I was buying $500 and below. After my first $2, it was always below that amount. And I bought a lot of hybrid dolls, so I would buy sculpt, like a face sculpt, which is, you know, usually in the 150 below range, and then I would buy a cheaper body, thinking in the future that I would upgrade the body eventually. So I did a lot of hybrid dolls, and that's kind of how my collection grew when I was in high school. But of course in high school, all my income was completely, you know, dispensable. I was not paying my own bills, I was not buying groceries for myself, I didn't need to pay, you know, utilities and internet and crap like that. It was a wonderful life back then. People taking care of me. When I was sick, I could just stay home and not do anything and have to work still. That whole method changed though when I got into college and I did have to start paying bills for myself. I did have to start buying my own groceries, and especially now I have just a more precise method of saving money now, just because I need to, because there's other bills and other expenses that come before buying dolls, obviously. So yeah, that's basically how I have afforded dolls in the past and how I afforded my first doll. In the next video, I'm just going to briefly talk about how I afford dolls now that I have bills to pay and all kinds of things. You'll realize that it's pretty much actually just common sense. It's not like crazy secret method of magic. But it is really helpful for me, and it might be helpful for you even if you don't have extra expenses, even if you are still living with your parents or whatever it is. It might still be really helpful, so I will talk to you about budgeting. So fun in part 2, and that is all I have to say for right now. I will talk to you guys soon. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye!